Welcome to another edition of Community Matters. I'm Jim Cameron, your host and program director of Darien TV 79. And as you, a faithful viewer of this station, understands, Community Matters is a show where we interview folks involved with nonprofits, non-government organizations, serving folks here in the Darien community. Our guest today is Amy Montemiro. She's the CEO of ABILIS, which I have been mispronouncing all this time, Amy. I apologize. ABILIS, ABILIS, and their offices where we are joining her from her very busy-looking office in Greenwich. It's good to have you with us on the program today.
Thank you very much, Jim.
So we're gonna start with the basics. What is ABILIS?
ABILIS is a nonprofit that has just celebrated 70 years this past year of providing services and supports to over 800 individuals with disabilities from birth throughout the senior years. And we start our service delivery by helping parents through the initial diagnosis and helping them navigate through the school years. We provide recreation, opportunities for friendship and fun as individuals age. We do a great deal of job coaching and teaching skills, eventually residential services when individuals are ready, and supporting our folks through the retirement years. So we are there from the beginning to the end.
So how many clients would you be dealing with at any given time?
Over about 820 per year when you factor in our
Wow.
children through our adults.
And you say they are people with disabilities. What kind of disabilities are we talking about?
The majority intellectual disabilities has been our adult population. Our children could be any kind of developmental delay, starting from initial. Children aren't meeting their milestones. Physicians refer us. We're a partner, one of the 11 actually that provide a diagnosis of autism and service delivery from very early years. Some people exit out of our system. Some people we stay with throughout their adult life. Other developmental disabilities that they are diagnosed with, and we've expanded the people that we've been supporting. So for many years, it was just those with intellectual disabilities, this IQ defined service delivery, and we've expanded that based on the needs of our community.
So you deal with people with physical disabilities as well too?
We help people with physical disabilities. Yeah. Yep.
And what would that be? What kind of physical disabilities are we talking about?
Individuals need through our Ticket to Work program, if they're needing help with how to finding work, finding a job, how do they get there, navigating the different transportation systems. But our primary focus is those with developmental and intellectual disabilities that really need us to help them develop the skills, confidence, self-worth to join a workforce, and where are they going to live for the rest of their lives.
So you mentioned autism. I think people may be familiar with, maybe not understand, but be familiar with Down's syndrome. Mm-hmm. What causes these disabilities? Are they genetic? Are they birth defects? What causes them?
That's a good question. It's a diagnosis. It's not sure, what causes it. There are chromosomes that are defined for different diagnoses, but autism is a communication, deficit where individuals have difficulty with their, receptive skills and expressive skills, and sometimes that is combined with an intellectual disability, and sometimes it's not. So making sure that individuals could be functioning at a very high level but not able to communicate, we need to be able to support that community that has really been a gap in our system that really is a great need right now. So
prior to ABILIS coming along and assisting these people, what would happen to them? I mean, were their life expectancies shortened? Were they mostly institutionalized, or did they live at home? We'll talk about what you've been able to do, but what's the improvement you've been able to make on their outlook?
I think, ABILIS started, as many organizations, parents coming together and saying, what's going to happen when I'm gone? Who's going to take care of my child? And that's how this organization was born and developed. And years ago, there's just been such an incredible growth and expectation of our community to support individuals, where it was years ago, there were institutions that are no longer. There was sheltered workshops, and the thoughts of what people with disabilities were capable of doing. It was just a very, maybe bagging a grocery, putting pieces together, assembly work. This is a new world, and make sure that the skills and ability for people with disabilities are just in the forefront, and that people know what they have to offer to our community.
People on the spectrum, they may not necessarily be physically challenged, but more intellectually challenged, which means that they are capable of going to work and holding down a job if they can deal with the emotional aspects of it as well too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not lacking in motor skills, shall we say.
Right. A lot of it is giving confidence and finding benevolent employers that are willing to give people a chance. There's really a big push for customized employment in our state to make sure that people with disability, that employers are looking at how a person with a disability, whether it's autism, intellectual, or other developmental, what they can offer. Especially in a time where there's a workforce shortage, we're taking advantage of that and making sure that employers are looking, outside their comfort zone, and maybe a person with a disability would be perfect for their workforce.
You call them benevolent employers, but as you say, there's a workforce shortage right now.
Yes.
So it's not just a matter of, I'm going to cut this kid a break,
right?
But
right.
Wow, maybe this kid could do more than just, and no offense to the supermarket chains, bag groceries.
Right.
Because I think many people have perhaps seen folks with special needs working at Stop and Shop, grocery stores like that. But you have provided them with some other opportunities. So talk to us a little bit about your homegrown efforts and maybe some of those other benevolent employers who have taken a chance, and what their success was with this.
Sure. Well, that was a lot of questions. So we've developed.
Take it anywhere you want, Amy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We really want to meet each person where they are. Some people may not be ready for a competitive job, going right out into the workforce, working for someone, which is why we developed our own businesses. We wanted people to feel comfortable making mistakes on our watch, being able to use a point of sale system, and how do we greet customers, and all the different things that we have to, all the different tasks that we have to do throughout an employment position. So we have a gardens and gifts, which we're actually looking at expanding into Darien, where we have people who are learning how to make floral arrangements, and they're greeting customers, and they're wrapping gifts, and they're interacting and selling to our community, who is in and out our doors all day long. We expanded to food service, to opening up a cafe at the Darien, first at the Greenwich Library, to again provide another opportunity for those that are interested in food service and making coffee and learning all the different, the different tasks that you need when you're handling food, preparing food, and serving the community.
I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to get a real job. Coffee for Good has the technology to teach me to get another job out in the community.
This would be a fun place to work and get a good paycheck.
I feel like having the new job will make me more independent.
And we've really worked hard to develop internships. We've partnered with Greenwich Hospital. We have a Project Search internship program where people are rotating and throughout the hospital, developing different skills in the different areas, and mentors that we've really established with the hospital to help people develop those soft skills that we all have, and one individual could be at the lab, they could be at their food service, they could be at physical medicine. They're just really, and there's a rigorous curriculum that goes along with it. But the result after this 10-month internship is to find a job in the community. So really, our development of our businesses has been creating a platform where people can develop those skills, and we help them to progress into other positions. And we're really, we have probably over 100 employers that we work with where people are placed in permanent positions throughout Lower Fairfield. And we help them to make sure that they're maintaining their positions, they're getting to work on time, that there's no, sometimes there's new technology that comes out. ABILIS staff may need to come and help to give a little refresher. We want people to develop those skills that they can maintain. And the nice thing is, so many employers, the best thing they could say to us is, we really don't need you anymore. We're comfortable. We can help train individuals that you're sending to us. And as things change, we're going to work with them. And that's our ultimate goal.
Amy Montemiro is the CEO of ABILIS, and she is joining us today to talk about some of the successes you've had, even here in Darien. The new cafe that's just opened at the Darien Library, being a good example with some of your clients. Are they paid for their work when they get these jobs?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Minimum wage, the same as everybody else?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're not cutting the employer any kind of a break. You're just bringing in some fresh talent as well, too, right?
Right. Yes.
And so you mentioned the benevolent employers who were smart enough to give these kids, and I'll call them kids, younger people, a chance. What kind of pushback do you get from the non-benevolent employers? What are their reasons or excuses for not wanting to, have your clients working in their facilities?
You know what? A lot of the employers that we're working with, it could take us up to maybe 15 visits of educating the employer and knocking on doors, historically, to really explain to them, it's fear of the unknown, lack of, being educated as to the skills and abilities that people have. And I've seen it change throughout the years of really, and that probably is the wrong word, but employers that have an open heart and open mind, that want to give people a chance. If I tell you, so many employers who say, this is the most dedicated, hardworking workforce that you've sent us. They're reliable, they're on time, that they're so thrilled and happy because they've had such difficulty with their previous, employees. The people we're supporting, they want to work. They want to be in the community, front and center. They want an opportunity, and they should have it. So we're here to support them in that.
Talk to me for a second, if you want to put on your philosopher hat. Talk to me about the dignity of work. What does it mean to have a job? Maybe not, you're not the CEO, maybe you're just making coffee, but what does work mean to these people's lives?
It's really seeing an individual get their first paycheck, being a part of a workforce outside of the other people with disabilities, being accepted, being a part of, just something else, something other than what their kind of sheltered world. It's everything. I mean, get up in the morning, feel good about what you're doing, have a purpose, have confidence, you're contributing to our community, and being able to then, have extra money to buy the things that you want to buy. It's important. It's important to all of us.
How do people find out about your services? Is this something that the doctors and the hospitals and the clinicians refer parents to when they have a child born with these conditions?
I think our pediatricians, local pediatricians, will refer to ABILIS. We are a provider in the birth to 3 system. So when a parent is questioning if there might be something wrong, they can always call an 800 number and they will refer to ABILIS as one of the organizations. And, as children are in the school system, the transition schools of special education departments will refer to ABILIS to either help them throughout their journey through the schools or starting to prepare them for their adult life and what that's going to look like, and as an option for the family and the individual to help them prepare for the future.
Is there a fee for your services?
No, we are we're a service provider in the state of Connecticut, so Department of Developmental Services. We are a provider with them, so that is all covered for individuals with vocational. We became a ticket to work provider, which is on our website for individuals that don't qualify for that IQ defined assistance, which is where our state is, unfortunately. And then we can help the gap in our system to help them find work, help them figure out how they're going to get to work and how they're going to develop skills. And we also have private pay options for those who are falling in the gaps.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but some of those state benefits expire at age 21.
So you're entitled through the special education for services and supports to the age of 21. Once you hit 21, through the schools, you should be working with your district to identify, okay, your next steps, so you don't fall off that cliff. And a provider like ABILIS would come in, start working with the schools, so there's a seamless transition when they hit 21, so that they don't feel that the world is ending, that we're actually, able to open doors and opportunities for new friendships and fun, which is always the best way to transition to our services. And we work with individuals. We have young adult transition program for individuals who are not just ready to work, where we're all throughout Lower Fairfield, and we help individuals, develop those skills in groups, sometimes individually. We volunteer to the other nonprofits in the community, and everything we're doing is to develop those skills, but we're giving back. So we've, really developed quite a large pool of volunteer opportunities throughout the different towns, so that we can help individuals be a part of the community.
And do any of those kids go on to higher education?
Some individuals do. Some do. The majority of individuals we're helping to find jobs now, but there are individuals who are taking a further education, areas of interest. It could be we're helping individuals right now with a certification process, whether it's a nursing assistant they want to be, if there's anything we can do to help them study for those and prepare, or childcare. We started with the Darien YMCA, are opening up a project search similar to Greenwich Hospital. And there's a childcare component. So there might be individuals that want to further their education for higher salary. So we can help them develop the skills so that they can pass the certification, post-graduation, and really, make it a career.
And how do you raise the money to pay for all of this?
We are 85% state funded. We write grants all the time, and we fundraise all the time to make up the difference.
So I would imagine that the baristas working at the Darien Library and at the Coffee for Good in Greenwich are not a major profit center for ABILIS. You're not pulling down big profits off of lattes or anything.
We'd like to be, but we're not. As long as we're sustaining ourselves, that's our goal. We want people to feel good, to develop skills, to get up in the morning and be excited about where they're going. And that's our goal. Making the extra money would be fantastic, but as long as we're sustaining ourselves, we're happy.
But you do take donations, I imagine, as well, too.
We absolutely do.
Okay, folks, we're going to put a website address right here underneath me if you're interested in getting more information about ABILIS. Amy Montemiro is our guest. She is the CEO of ABILIS, ABLIS, joining us from their busy headquarters in Greenwich today. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything I should have asked you about that folks should know about ABILIS?
Just that we're here, and some people think maybe my child or loved one doesn't fall in the category. We're happy to take any calls, help families in our community to, help them navigate through the system or finding other alternatives for them. So feel free. We have a wealth of resources here and we're happy to help.
And, you know, I mean, you're talking to folks in Darien on TV 79 here as well, too. And ours is a town populated by people with the ability to provide these services out of their own pockets if necessary as well, too. But what about folks in Stamford? What about folks in South Norwalk who are of lesser means and less politically connected and may not have insurance except for that darn old husky, which doesn't seem to do much these days? Editorial comment, sorry. How can you, or are these people that you help as well too?
Oh, absolutely. We have a program in Norwalk. We have a program in Stamford, a large program we're looking to expand now. We're there to help the individual. It doesn't matter where you're from. If we're in your town, we're happy to help.
Regardless of your economic spectrum,
That's absolutely
so to speak. Great, great. Amy, I want to thank you very much for being with us. We will look forward to seeing you perhaps at the Darien Library at the cafe,
Yes.
where some of your clients will be dishing up all manner of comestibles. And
Yes.
If we can be of any help in getting the word out at TV 79, please let us know.
I will. Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching yet another edition of Community Matters.